So where must I look for how many people have already joined? We can't see that yet.
It will come on the right side of your screen of people who are joining in and will be asking us questions.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are just going to start in like 3 minutes. We are just waiting for people to start joining online. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Matab and somebody from Geoparcy, if you all can tell us that you all can hear us properly, it would be great. Hi, looking forward to this session. Okay, so Matab's here. So at least we know that we are live and everybody can listen to us.
And we are all super duper excited to be here.
So this
It's
is
like
the
finally
new.
getting out. Yeah.
I know. I was excited to talk to my friend, philosopher, and guide. So it's always amazing to talk to you, Vinayka.
Oh, you're talking about me? I thought you're talking about Shenaz.
Yes.
Oops, okay. 1 second.
Okay, so yes, we can hear you all. Parzan Mystery is saying that he can hear us. That's Dr. Parzan.
Oh, and Rayo is here. Yes,
Kumar,
and Rayo
hello,
is here.
Ji. Thank you for coming online. He was the one who was testing that the last time we were trying to go online. He gave us the thumbs up. That is Ravinder Kumar Ji. Yeah. That's Shashank Darji. Hi, hello, sir.
Oh, and Shamla is here. So tell people a little bit about the JP team. Tell them who's Shamla, the newest entrant. Maybe you can introduce Shamla. Hello, Shenaz. Big Boss is also here.
Yeah. Okay, that I can't see that. Anyways, mine is
Shenaz is above Ravindra Kumar.
So we are a big team of. Okay, I think there are. Okay. Anyways, as long as everybody can hear us, I'm happy. So it's 5:58. I think I will self-introduce myself first. Vinny, can
yes, absolutely,
we start?
And I think shall we give people another 5 minutes to come in? So in the meanwhile, Pearl, you could. Would you like to say something?
Yeah, sure. Anyways, hi everybody. My name is Pearl Tirandas. I'm Public Relations Officer for Geoparcy. Just heard today that one research showed in emotion overriding everything in these times is anxiety, and for that we have our very own Binay Fasauka. Thank you, Binay, for doing this session for I know you have always time of its inception.
Thank you.
I have done so many workshops with you, and I have always been in awe of you, the way you speak, the way you guide people. It's just amazing. And like I said before, that you are my friend, philosopher, and guide, and we couldn't have asked for anybody better but you to start off this online session and put people at ease, including me right now, because I'm super stressed with 2 children at home also. So I would like to introduce to everybody Binay Saukar. Binay Saukar is your psychotherapist who specializes in couples counseling and people struggling with depression and anxiety. She practices in a clinic at Dadar Parsi Colony and also offers online service. She has been a part of Geoparcy advocacy workshops from the inception in 2014. Thank you so much, Binaykar. And with that, I think Big Boss has said good evening, Binaykar, and we can start the session with you.
Absolutely. And like with good Baba punctuality, we would like to start on the dot. So, hello everybody and welcome to Geoparcy. I am super duper excited. For the first time in 2 months, I've actually worn one of the dresses that I wear to my seminar, and I put a little lipstick, and I made special effort to look really nice, because it actually feels like after 2 months, some formal function to look forward to, something to look forward to. So in 2014, we began with our advocacy program, and we used to go to the various parks and colonies, and we interacted with you all, and we had workshops in parenting and teenagers, and for all kinds of demographics we have had these workshops. But now with the lockdown, we all have to adapt, and so this is going to be our first online Geoparcy session. When on 31st of December 2019, when we made our New Year resolutions, I don't know why we bother making our New Year resolutions. So when you made your New Year resolution, did any of you ever imagine how different your life is going to be just 5 months down the line? And even on 21st March, on Navroz, when you had a chance to revisit your New Year resolutions, I mean, we kind of knew that, life would be sort of uncomfortable, little bit of inconvenience, because gymkhanas cancelled, the New Year parties, private parties got cancelled, and the first lockdown was declared shortly after 21st March. And we developed a new respect for our maids. Gosh, we really miss them. And our children learned cooking, and they learned to help us with the household chores, and a lot of people moved their classes and their businesses online. And we still felt that lockdown 1 is going to be for a very short stint. But then lockdown 1 went into lockdown 2 and 3, and here we are in lockdown 4, and the end of the tunnel seems to be getting hazier and hazier. A lot of us have been, most of us have been financially punched in the face. And the curve is not flattening. And what seemed like faraway China and Wuhan, today we have cases कि हमारी बाजुनी building में थयूं, ने बाजुनी society में थयूं, and in every colony and every office building, we are hearing of these cases, and I'm sure it's going to continue. So I was reading the speech of Dr. Tedros, who's the Director General of the World Health Organization. Absolutely nothing. And today, the number 1 priority is containment. But you know what, guys? With containment comes the collateral damage of the economy. And all of us here on this Facebook Live group is very privileged, touch wood. I mean, we have savings, so we can afford to sit at home. But there is a huge chunk out there which cannot. And our community has been absolutely fantastic in the way it has kind of helped the community in terms of service, in terms of help for everybody who is needy, who is stuck at home, the senior citizens. The community has come out and really, really helped. Our mobels are facing tremendous loneliness because there are absolutely no worshipper footfalls in the Agyaris. We are in the month of Day, and they are performing jashans with no Bedians as witnesses. So it's literally like performing to an empty theatre. My own counseling service in the month of April took a massive dip, okay? But in the month of May, gradually, it has really picked up. And now, in the online consultation that I do, phone call after phone call is all about anxiety, COVID anxiety, lockdown suffocation, sleep deprivation, panic attacks. So what can you do about anxiety? I have listed 7 tips, and I hope that these tips will be useful to you. So tip 1, it's all about balance. My favorite cookery show host is Nigella Lawson. And she was demonstrating a dessert recipe. And she said, I'm going to add a little bit of sea salt to the chocolate to offset the sweetness of the chocolate. And it's so easy to maintain balance in the kitchen compared to real life. And I think there's a lot of merit in what Nigella Lawson is saying, because how nice would it be if we could maintain the right balance between, say, exercise and television viewing, and if we could balance healthy eating, and if we could balance watching just the right amount of news where we stay aware, but not so much news where, we are sick to the stomach. The second point that I would like to talk about are these two very dangerous words, what if? Because if you keep thinking, what if, what if, what if, you can go mad. So what if I touch my Alfonso mango? Will I get COVID infected? What if I touch the takeaway parcel? Will I get infected? And if you keep getting into all these combinations and permutations, you will go nuts. So instead of thinking about what if you tweak it down to the what is?
Binaifa,
my camera.
Sorry, Binaifa.
Yeah,
yes, it's gone off. Just come back, please. Your camera is gone.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, she can hear me. Can you hear me, Binaifa? Refresh your page.
Me now?
One second. We can't hear. One second. Yeah, Binaifa, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
So I'm so sorry about the interruption. So as I was saying, can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So instead of thinking of the what if, which we have no control over, what if we bring it down to the what is? Okay, because that comes in the realm of the present, that comes in the realm of our control. So supposing if you imagine your worst fear becomes a reality and you were to get infected, okay? But supposing if you were to get infected, you could think, I have the choice of staying in the comfort of my home in home quarantine. You could think that statistically speaking, the amount of cases that have got recovered compared to the mortality rate is much higher. And finally, you could think, I have done many, many hard things in the past. I can do this too. The third point is always have a positive dialogue with yourself. So Mother Teresa never said that she was anti-war. She said, I am pro-peace. So instead of saying, I can't offer services online, you can say, I offer services face-to-face and online. So be very positive in the dialogue that you tell yourself and what you communicate with others. The fourth point is be future focused. There's no point living in the past. We have absolutely no control over the past, but the future is your tomorrow, where you're going to live in. So plan in the present and roll with your strategy in your future. This would be a good time for you to upgrade your skills, to get into your networking, to learn something new. Because as they say that when there is a storm at sea, fishermen can't go out for fishing, so instead they repair their nets. And that makes sense, right? The fifth point is relax. A lot of parents have been calling and saying, our children's sleep cycle has been completely disrupted. They are sleeping late, they are waking up late. But guys, so be it, because the entire world is in that virtual playground. I mean, y'all are the parents, it's totally your prerogative as to what you want to do with your children. But think about it. If your children are waking up late, but within that time, if they are exercising, if they are eating right, if they are helping you with the housework, if they are doing whatever it is that is involved in the routine of normal children, there is no point fighting and spoiling your mood. The sixth point is, just because everybody is saying this social distancing doesn't mean that we can't be connected. So let's stay electronically connected like this, okay? Stay in touch with your friends, do WhatsApp video calls with your friends. And you would surely have to be living under a rock if you say that you're not on social media. And the last point is connect with your inner self. A lot of us, with the future so uncertain and so obscure, we have been asking ourselves a lot of existential questions. So, from the module of Solution Focused Brief Therapy, I have a very nice identity question. Whatever goal you set for yourself on 31st December, I want to be more happy, I want to control my temper, I want to be more patient, whatever is your goal, okay? So here is my question. Suppose you woke up tomorrow and you found yourself becoming the very best version of yourself. What would you notice that would make you pleased? I repeat, suppose you woke up tomorrow and you noticed yourself becoming the very best version of yourself. What would you notice that would make you pleased? And then I want you to deep dive and ask yourself a second question. What would the people around me, the people close to me, notice about this best version of myself? And the people close to you can be your friends, your family, your children, your colleagues, even your pets, your dogs, your cats, your putras, your bilaras. Because your mood, your good mood, your bad mood will have a ripple effect on people around you. So the one thought that I want to leave you lovely people with is that we don't know how the COVID future is going to pan out. We have absolutely no control over the vaccine or the cure. But the one thing that is definitely within the realm of our control is our own response. So I think this is a good enough conversation starter. And I would like to move to my favorite part, question and answers. Over to you, Polly.
Yeah. Thank you, Billy, for this. And I would just like to say we are on 84 people right now who are watching us. So thank you, everybody, for...
Awesome.
Yeah. Yes, we just got that news. So that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, we were actually wondering, will people even...
We thought even if we get 5 people, 7 people, we'll go ahead with it, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, we do go ahead and do that. Yeah. So, okay. Good evening, friends. I just want to say a little about GeoParsi before we go into the Q&A. GeoParsi is a unique program launched by the Ministry of Minorities Affairs, Government of India, to assist the members of the Parsi community to boost its falling population. Through various schemes designed by experts, the program was launched in 2013. Through the Medical Assistance Scheme, HOC and Advocacy, 263 babies have been born all over India. The child care and elderly care schemes provide assistance to couples who wish to increase their family size. All these schemes have a cap on the income of the family. Lastly, advocacy through seminars, workshops, talks, and through the print and social media have been the backbone of GeoParsi. Kindly refer to our website www.geoparsi.org or contact us through our email geoparsi151@gmail for further information and assistance. And now this whole seminar is open for question and answers. I think we already have Ruzkar or Ruzbe asking us one question. How to keep the current job secure during this COVID-19 lockdown? That was his question.
Right. So, in fact, Ruzkar has been, I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly, been one of the most enthusiastic participants, and he has sent us his question way in advance in Messenger. So, Ruz, to answer your question, it's a lot of us are going through the same anxiety and the uncertainty that you are, that will my job still be waiting at me at the end of the road? And I think you need to make yourself stand out in the office, because you have to stand out from the rest of the crowd. So you have to do something which is different. You have to be very innovative so that you stand out. You can't be doing the same run-of-the-mill stuff. Another thing is, please toot your horn. I mean, we have been conditioned to say, no, you can't show off, and you must be very modest, and you can't talk about your achievements. But I think in today's world, you need to, if you've achieved something, if something is your creative idea, you need to pitch it. You need to say, I did it, and you need. So initially, every workshop that I did or every article that I wrote, okay, people said, put it on Facebook. And I would say, hi, kittu kharab lage, okay? But now I just do it because it helps me to get clients. And how would people know of my existence if I'm sitting in some obscure little corner of Dadar Parsi colony?
Absolutely.
So I think you need to put yourself out there. People would not have known about Jio Parsi's achievement. I mean, Pearl, day in and day out, even when she was wheeled into the labor room, she was still uploading her posts. And I'm not being hyperbolic, okay? But I mean, this is how important social media is, because you need to deliver it fresh, and you need to deliver it as much as you can. There is no such thing as too much on social media. And case in point, I mean, we thought that without Thansa Kebab and an RTI box, we will not be able to garner more than 5 people or 10 people. And today, this is the power of social media, where we have 84 people, and I think still some more joining in.
So, we are getting join-ins. Yes.
And also, Rose, very quickly, don't get into politics, okay? Because it's very easy to get sucked into politics. And if somebody comes to your workstation and they start bitching about somebody, even if you say, yeah, you're right, they say, see, Rose agreed with me, So you need to just say, you know what, no comments, or excuse me, I'm very busy with my work, or sorry, I have a call coming. And, as far as possible, stay apolitical. Don't make statements. And finally, you need to be a team player. So when there is a deadline at hand, you can't say, "Ke 6 baga, so I'm going home." You need to stay back, you need to pull your load, and you need to be a team player. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay, so I have another question, Vinay, for this one. Yeah. How to deal with parents who are 75 and 88 years old, who cannot accept not being allowed to go out and be locked down in the house for such a long time, showing signs of depression and very emotional and cranky. This is by Abnaz Dadi Barjor.
Yes, it is very difficult, and I don't think you have to be only 77 and 80. Even at our age, we are all becoming extremely cranky about staying at home. And so you have to have very broad shoulders, and you have to be patient with them. And you need to make them realize that, that at their age, they are extremely vulnerable. Because, the younger you are, the chances of bouncing back from the disease is easier. But the older you get, the more difficult it is to bounce back. And in fact, even in our Agyaris, our priests have been constantly battling, because the older ones are saying, "Ape jaldi thi page pali ne aagi chahiye," and they are like, "Uncle, auntie, tomorrow time pass nathi." This, they treat it as they've been so used to it. It's also their devotion.
Absolutely.
They've been doing it all these years.
And it's that, absolutely.
But you are subjecting yourself to so much risk. So you're touching that bhakti, you're touching the sukhar, you're touching the tap. Even if you go to the park, you're touching the bench, you're touching whoever has left their snot or their whatever, How much will you sanitize and how much? So I think it's best to let the younger people run the house, do the shopping, and, you stay home, enjoy your Netflix, enjoy, the roof over your head. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so the next question is from Suchi Sharma.
Yeah, but Abna, you need to be patient, okay? I mean, I know it's very easy to snap at them, but it's not going to help the situation, because then you'll feel very yucky about yourself for snapping, your head off at them. So be patient, have broad shoulders. Sorry.
Sorry. So the next question is from Suchi Sharma. Can you show that? My 10-year-old daughter is very irritable and easily angry due to no school and activities and locked in. How to deal with the arguments and shouting?
Correct. So again, it's something which all of us are getting very used to. I mean, people are talking about this new normal, you know, and this is going to happen for a long, long time. I mean, school is not going to reopen in a hurry. So if you think that, Suchi, you will get them out of your hair and into the school, it's not really going to work, you know. And this is something which we all need to accept. And, you know, we will have to figure ways of keeping our children gainfully occupied. So when people talk about the new normal, you know, we are all wondering, everybody in the world of academics is wondering, like, how many shifts will a school keep so that you have a distance in the benches and even in the school bus? And even now with the Lagan Navjot season very soon coming up, you know, October, November, our Lagan Bads are not going to give us the refund. So what is this new normal going to look like? Will we have to wear, I don't know, will Ashley and Lilawala and Zenobia Nagar have to make these special Gara mask, you know, to go with our mask and tablis, and will we put pyramids into an envelope and will we stand in chalk squares and will we blow flying kisses? I mean, it's all very bizarre and we are all trying to find our way around. So Suchi, to answer your question, we are as lost as you are.
Vinay, hello?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Vinay, you can hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so the next question is from Parena Sahukar. What's the difference between worry and anxiety?
Okay, so that's my kid, and she just attended a similar seminar this morning from her Jai Hind College. And maybe this needs a little bit of clarification. So worry is what Suchi is going through. You know, how do I keep my kid occupied? How do I keep my kid from throwing me a tantrum? Every mother's worry. I think anxiety is more crippling. Anxiety is something which kind of comes in the way of your normal functioning. So let me give you an analogy of a car alarm. Okay, a car alarm is supposed to go off when a thief tries to break into the car. But if the car alarm is faulty and it starts going bah, 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 every time even a bus passes by or a pedestrian tries to pass by, then it is a problem. Okay, so when every headache, stomach ache, you know, becomes absolutely amplified, and you start zeroing in, you know, and you think, oh, like brain means, I mean, you know, this means I'm getting a brain tumor, I'm not getting taste, I've got fever, do I have COVID? You know, that kind of, when you raise the worry to the power of 10, it becomes anxiety. When it starts interfering with your everyday functioning.
Okay. So the next question is from the big boss. How do
Sherry.
Shehnaz ma'am, our big boss from Delhi, how do you deal with the anxiety of students whose scholarships courses have been cancelled? Some are suicidal. That's really a serious question.
No, this has been life altering for a lot of people. You know, people have lost their businesses, people have lost their scholarships, and you know, it's like literally one virus in one corner of the world has flipped everybody's life upside down. You know, and for people who are suicidal, whether it is your scholarship cancelled or anybody who has suicidal ideation, the general treatment protocol or the therapeutic protocol is to talk to the person and figure where is the slight ray of hope that still exists in their life today. So in fact, the very fact that they have taken the appointment with you means that they are hoping for some help. Okay. And then you would ask them questions like, what is it that still gives you happiness in your day? You know, and you will find that the time when I'm listening to music or when I'm drinking my coffee or when I'm playing with my dog or that, you know, something you will find which still gives them happiness, and that is what you will amp up even further. The second strategy you could do with somebody with suicidal ideation is you would ask them who are the people who really matter to them, and then you would say that, you know, to honor them, okay, what would staying alive and what would showing how successful you are mean to them? And even if you do not get your goal of going abroad, is it possible for you to get a similar degree in India and still be whatever it is that you set out to be? So, you know, you travel into the past and remind them of their greatness. you travel into the present timeline and see the present support system and the skills and resources that they still have. And you travel into the future timeline with them and you show them that hope still exists and there is still light at the end of the tunnel.
Thank you, Billy. So Farhan was asking, Farhan Saukar was asking, I personally miss meeting my friends. How do I deal with the loneliness? I mean, actually, this is even my. I think lot of us. I understand the new way and the Zoom meeting and everything, but that loneliness definitely creeps in. Maybe a little late in the night when you are just unwinding and you just think of the happier times that we have missed, being with our friends more or being with the family more. I mean, this is one of the thoughts that even keeps going through my mind. Like we were so busy for
so Pearl, thank you because you so thank you because you have actually helped me answer the question. You said, I think of the happier times. So, when you go back into the past and you think about those memories, does that cheer you up?
Yes, definitely.
Well,
it actually it gets a little, I get a little teary eyed also, that I should have been more available. I feel like that. Sometimes work and
we are
all takes.
So as I said, in my last point of anxiety, we are all asking ourselves these very existential questions and we're all becoming very introspective. And I think it's good because sometimes we need this pause. We've been so busy that I think now we need to realize how much the people we took for granted actually mean to us. And
Absolutely.
You know what? This is not going to last forever. It's going to last for a very long time, but it's not going to last forever. So maybe there is chance to make up. There is chance at redemption.
Yes.
So in fact, yesterday I was speaking to a student who is studying in London, and she was talking about loneliness. And I'll tell you something. In India, we really don't recognize boundaries. Okay, so I also work with college students, and in the hostel, for example, our Indian hostel is very different from the hostels abroad. So here, nobody believes in knocking. People just come in, they will just jump on your bed. Can you hear me, Pearl?
Yes, I can. Sorry, I was just looking at another.
So you will have like 4 or 5 people jumping on your bed. They will eat up the food that your mom has packed for you. There is no question of privacy and space and boundaries. Okay. Whereas this girl I was talking to, Indian girl studying in London, and she said, I feel so lonely. I said, but why lonely? You have 4 roommates. And she said, but they have to knock on the door and they don't want me in each other's face. And I have to be very mindful when I'm cooking with my onions and my masalas because I don't want my food smells to be offensive to them. So, in our society, our boundaries are very porous, And even now, I think we are still better connected than the West. We are very lucky to be in this country. And we are very lucky to be in this community. And thank God for social media. I mean, imagine if this was the pandemic that happened in 14, 17, whenever. There was no WhatsApp. There were no computers. Today, we are doing FaceTime and electronically connected. So let's count our blessings for what we have rather than what we don't have.
Surely. So Heman Barucha has a question.
Go ahead, yeah.
One second. With working couples being together 24/7, there are silly arguments over little things. How can we avoid this?
So again, whether you're a couple or whether you are staying in a joint family or whether it is like the lady who spoke, Aban, who said about her senior parents, I think this staying together 24/7, we are all getting on each other's nerves. And some of us at least have the luxury. I was talking to somebody who said, I live in a 4,000 square feet house and still my parents and I and my house help, we get on each other's nerves, And then there are people who do not have the luxury of space. There are people who are, 7 people, 8 people living in a one-room kitchen. So space is a constraint, and I think we all have to be very mindful. So mindful in little things like sharing the household responsibility. You can't be chauvinistic and say, "I'm the guy who jharu kachro nahi kara, usne cooking ma help nahi kara."
Yes.
Boss, you have to pull your load. You need to share the television remote if there is one television, or you need to share even with your children who are fighting. You need to share the computer time. And for those of us who live in very, very small houses, you could possibly go onto the terrace, or you could go to the balcony. And when you know that one person is talking to your friend, you're missing your friend. I think parents should be mindful and they should lay off. So the other day I was talking to a young girl, and she suddenly snapped and she said, "Mommy, can't you see I'm talking to my counselor?" And then she said, "Oh, my mummy, she's purposely coming to." I said, "What happened?" So she's saying, "I'm literally hanging out on my balcony so that my family doesn't hear me talking to you. And my mother is purposely coming to hang the towel at that time." So, I mean, when your kid has given you the heads up and said, "Listen, 50 minutes is my time," respect it. Now, 50 minutes, if you don't go to the balcony, what's the big deal? So, we all have to adjust.
Absolutely. But Vinaysa, I would want to ask something from my point of angle. I have a 11-year-old and I have a 2.5-year-old boys. Now I can obviously make my elder one understand what is happening around us and what needs to be done. But do you think that a 2.5-year-old will get affected by it? Obviously, because he doesn't understand, things have been taken away from him, his playtime, his school, his friends, the gymkhana time. You think that later on when things open up, there will be some kind of reassurance he will need from us? You think he will become more, his personality will change because of this no meeting anyone?
See, Pearl, I have been noticing you in close quarters. Okay, so even yesterday when we were doing the test run, okay, I was noticing your two little ones, running in the background. And at any point in time, either you or your husband were constantly focused on them. So I think y'all are giving them enough of attention. Y'all are lavishing them with enough of. I think that's what they need. They need affection.
Okay.
They need attention. And if you give it to
Okay.
them, okay, your fear that will my kid be traumatized? Will he come out
Yeah.
as his psychologically damaged? I don't think so. I don't think so, because what he wants laughter, he wants hugs,
Yeah.
he wants his mummy, his daddy, his brother. He has that. He has good food. He has a roof over his head. He has nothing that is scaring him. So I think, in fact, the less you expose him, the virus, in fact, I think if you, the less negative news you tell him, it's good for him, because his 2.5-year-old brain is not going to process that.
Okay. Thank you, Vinny. We'll go to the next question. Zenia. Okay, so Zenia Jalnawala has been asking, how do you handle anxiety for children? They just are very irritable and become angry easily, but we've done this. Okay, so sorry. I'm just going to go ahead now. Go ahead. But
Polly, excuse me,
okay.
can I just say something, Zenia? Zenia,
Sure.
one thing that you need to be very clear about is, recently I was working with a kid who had night terrors. Okay. And we thought that the night, the difference between nightmare and night terror. Nightmare is a bad dream which you can remember. Night terror is where your kid is running around the house and he gets up and he's screaming, and his heart is beating very fast, and his sadra is stuck to his chest, but he doesn't remember what he saw. Okay. And this kid was getting night terrors not because of COVID anxiety, but it was the media diet. So apparently his whatever the parents had been watching on television, binge watching on Netflix, was impacting the kid. So I think if you're mindful about what you are watching, because little rabbits have ears and eyes, and if he's exposed to that, possibly it is getting into his mind and causing this crankiness and causing this irritability. So watch enough of news so that you are aware, but not so much of news and not so much about, even when the adults keep talking about the same, regurgitating the same negative topic, I think you need to cut it down where kids are around. Keep it like Pearl, keep it a very happy environment for the children.
Dadi Padamji is saying, Binaifat, it's easier said than done, especially when you have someone in hospital with COVID-19, or when you have a family member who's a doctor working in the hospital, where needs a lot of courage and stress control.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So Dadi Padamji, for those of you who don't know, is a very famous puppeteer, and I completely agree with you. I mean, your heart is in your mouth if your family member is a first line interventionist. And in fact, in my building, our building had gone into quarantine because one of the doctors from KEM hospital was in direct line of duty. So that is very, very true, and there is that worry. But as a family member, tell me something, Dadi. Would you rather show your hope and your strength and your resilience to the person you love, or would you rather, fall into pieces and rant and rave and say, "Oh, Kadai ji aur sukha se." So you have to be, you have to infuse them, you have to douse them, you have to saturate them with so much of hope that everything's going to be fine. And even if you doubt it yourself, please be the oasis of hope. Don't if you can't say something nice, then just shut up. Don't try to make them scared. Yeah.
Okay, Binay, for Firoza Jasawala is asking. See here. 1 second. College girls are down. There is no decision on exams or further classes. How long can we as parents offer words of solace?
I don't think college students are so much in jeopardy as much as ICSE students. So SSC students have 1 paper left. ICSE students have 4 papers left. So I think theirs is even, and you have parents now think you were supposed to finish your board exams by March, and if you're living in Bombay, HPY would have been halfway over. Okay, now these same children are so fried, are so puck out because their parents are saying revision card. I mean, how much can you revise? And there is no end at sight because the board has only said that 5 days before the board exam we will give an announcement and you have to appear for your paper. And I think 5 days is ample because you have already finished your portion, you have finished your revision, and please chill, please relax, let your children relax. You can't keep expecting them to study like they were studying in January and February. It's not practical. And as for college students, very soon it's going to become, I know admissions and all will go for a toss, but this vaccine and cure is not going to come soon, okay? So it's going to be online. And in fact, today as Jai Hind College lecture, the psychiatrist in the lecture said, it's actually a good thing. It's Firoza, right? Firoza, it's a good thing. Your kid in the monsoon will not have to hang out of the train and travel. Your kid will not have to wade through the floods, okay? So your kid will be sitting in the safety of your home and will be attending online lectures, and hopefully our children will get into a better sleep cycle. And, like water finds its own level, they will find their own way around.
Thank you, Binny. Next is Delphi Wadia. When we speak to people who have lost their jobs and realize they are extremely low or upset, what can we do at a personal level to help? Especially since these people don't want to reach out to professionals for help. Lovely question.
Correct. So again, I mean, you can, as I said to Dadi Padamji also, the only thing that we can really give our friends is to keep checking on them and to infuse them with hope and to tell them that, what, this is not going to last. Like just as the good times didn't last, even these bad times will pass. It's a passing phase. And, you can offer to, because right now there are no recruitments happening. So even giving them a false promise of a job is not going to work. At the most, you can offer them emotional support. If you are really, really close to them, you can possibly offer them financial support if needed. Luckily, in our community, we are incredibly lucky where, just one phone call and, there are people, there are trusts that, help us tide over. So you can offer financial support, you can offer emotional support, and just be there, So even if you call and say, hey, how are you doing? Just checking on you. And you can pick up, y'all are such close, if you're a close friend, you know your friend for a long time, you can pick up the low mood and just listen. You don't have to advise or anything. You just listen, just be there for the person. Let the person vent, crack a couple of jokes, offer your solace, and that's more than enough.
Thank you. Simran Bhatija, could you show that? How must we accept the reality that there is a possibility that we too may contract the virus? The thought alone gives us so much anxiety. So how must we accept it?
So Simran, I think you missed my orientation. You might have logged in late. So at my very orientation, I am going to repeat myself where I said that, two dangerous words are what if, okay? And if you keep getting into this is what phone call after phone call people say, what if I get infected? Or what if people or the people I love get infected? What if I die or the people who are close to me die? Okay? So if instead of thinking about the what if, you need to think about the what is. And the what is, the is the reality. The reality is that the mortality rate compared to the recovery rate is very low. A lot of people who are contracting COVID, okay, have the option of a home quarantine if you have a separate room with a bathroom. So if you are one of those privileged people, you will be safely ensconced in your home. And Simran, I don't know you, but if I were to talk to you and if I were to get to know you better, I'm sure if I asked you, Simran, what are the hard things that you've done in your life? What are the traumas, the crises, the storms that you have faced? I am sure I'll come away feeling very impressed listening to what you're saying. So if you've had the resilience to deal with the tough things in the past, God forbid, if you were to contract an infection now, you will be able to handle it too. Because you have had flu in the past, you can treat it like another flu and you will deal with it, a more severe kind of a flu. But it's your mindset. It's your mindset. It's about minimizing that danger so that you're able to deal with it better and you're not allowing fear to get the better of you. I hope that makes sense.
Thank you, Vinny. The next question is from Kainas Davar. She's actually a blogger with Mummy's Expression. Hi, Kainas. She, I think, has a similar question like me only because she has two young boys. It's hard to keep toddlers engaged through this lockdown. Garden time used to be, it helped vent all their energy, but now they have been housebound for 2 months and the frustration is evident. I think it's very similar to the same issue I was having. But Kainas is a lovely mother and yeah.
I hope to meet you sometime, Kainas. So Kainas, I think whatever activities they did in the garden, if you could replicate that in your living room to the best extent possible, like jumping, spot jogging, sprints, so like XYZ. XYZ is this group which has these challenges, and I've been noticing that even in the confines of the living room, there is a father who has this sprint challenge, okay, and he's barely taking like 10 steps, one side of the room and 10 steps to the other. And you say, okay, come on, let's do like 1,000 laps or what's it called, rounds, 1,000 rounds, or you do a jogging challenge, or you just thakao them so much and you make them so exhausted that they feel hungry, and when their head touches the pillow, they just knock off like a light bulb. So I think that physical activity in whatever space, if you have a little corridor outside your house, or you have a terrace, or you have whatever you can manage, like just jump from the bed onto the godra down, something like that, if you could replicate the same kind of physical activity. You can also organize screen time, you can organize play dates, with people. And if you have 2 kids, that's wonderful, because they can have their own little party, they can have their own little, you can make a tent with a chadar and they can go inside and they can have their little playtime over there. So I know of a very cute family, where the parents have their drinks on the balcony in the night, and the children have their tea party at 5 o'clock, because they're emulating mom and dad. So they'll have their little juice and they will have their little biscuits and they have their tea party. So if you have siblings, doesn't matter if it is a big age gap like Rustam and Behram, Pearl's kids, they have each other, they have playmates. So that's wonderful. It's great. Pearl? Oh, I think we are frozen. I think now Pearl's screen has got frozen. So I think while Pearl's screen has got frozen, let me take another question. So there is Tanaz Adranwala. Okay, host is joining the broadcast.
No, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Pearl, you want to read Tanaz Adranwala's question?
Tanaz's, yeah. I'll just, 1 second. I'm just going to go in the line because I don't want to miss out anyone. So, sorry, we'll just finish Riddhi Raijawala. There's a lot of children who have their ICSE exams coming up and they have to physically go to their exam centers to write their exam. How do we help their anxiety? This is, I think, that has come in the news today itself, that July they are planning to finish their ICSE.
Yeah, and I have covered this already. I talked about ICSE and I talked about SSE. Okay. I've covered it. Yeah.
Okay, so then I think let's just go ahead. Farida Irani is saying many COVID warriors face social discrimination. They were tuned out of their homes or thrown out of residence. Isn't this also an expression of collective anxiety?
Yes, and it's very unfortunate. But then for the equal number of people who have been discriminated against, equal number have been COVID heroes, and they have also been welcomed and celebrated. And, we have seen people clapping from the balconies and welcoming them. So, I mean, Farida, we do live in a unfair world, and so there are good people and there are bad people. Next question.
Okay, let's go to Tanaz Adranwala's question. Hi, great session. Thanks. Wanted to ask, there are young married couples who have had a social life and now because of the lockdown, they are at loggerheads. How can we help them and calm them down?
Because your social life has gone for a toss. So we've already talked about it, that we need to respect everybody's privacy. We need to pull our load at home. And I think today everybody's greatest entertainment is Netflix, and it is the phone, So we can't be, clubbing and party to humna bhuli javano. So it is something which we all have to accept. And in fact, this would be a good time to bond. And in our busy lives, it is very difficult to bond. So why not use this time to have a romantic dinner together, and just to, cook a meal together, give each other a massage, and, just rekindle the love. Let this be your second honeymoon. Let this be a new addition to Geoparty.
Yeah, lovely. So Kashmir, hi Kashmira Kakalya has joined us. So thank you Kashmira for joining us. Yeah, she was also saying the same thing, that TY students, the graduation exams are still pending. So I guess everybody is.
Everybody. Yes. See, I think the beautiful part is that we need to recognize that we are not alone. There are like 1,000 people who are nail biting just like us. So I think that is the beauty of this pandemic, and it is not just India. It is happening all over the world. So it's even happening in the developed countries. It's happening in America. It's happened in Italy. So everybody is in it together.
So we have Paurush Mehta who has joined us. He's a Zing member. a really good session. We have to be positive and hang in there. We need to use this lockdown time to take a pause, relax, and introspect a bit. We should avoid
Barabar.
overthinking and stay busy to stay sane. Yeah, I think yes, definitely. Thank you, Paurush, for
Because for
joining
us,
in.
yeah, Paurush. If we could just, I think the success in conquering anxiety would be if we could just amp down from overthinking to thinking. Because if we keep thinking, we'll go absolutely nuts. So we just have to think about the here, the now, be very mindful and take it as it comes. Go with the flow, just one day at a time.
Okay, we have Urvis Kakalya. Hi, Urvis. Thank you for joining in. Many couples were planning to get married but now can't because of the lockdown. What do you suggest for this?
Urvi's, I think, okay, so Urvi's was my bacha and JB bacha, and now she's a neonate in and a budding psychologist, and I'm incredibly proud of the work that she's doing. So,
Yes,
Urvi's,
absolutely.
I think you missed a bit of the beginning. Maybe you logged in late, where I was talking about the new normal, and I said that the Lagan bags are not going to refund the deposits. So maybe the new celebration will obviously be fewer people, and there will be a greater spacing in the paths. I think the show will go on, but it will be with all these precautions of sanitizer and staying apart and keeping distance, and maybe it'll be like a western wedding where we will have very very few people rather than these insane big fat weddings that we are having with 1,000+ people. So I think with social distancing eventually it will happen, and we are still talking about October, November. Or it
Yeah.
could just be it could be just a private ceremony where you just eat dhanda patio and celebrate with your family.
Baghdad Bomisha, this is the first time in my life I've heard Parsi kids are worried about exams and not enjoying COVID holidays. Times have really changed.
No, no,
So I think,
Baghdad is absolutely right. The Parsi kids are not worried, the Parsi mammas are
yeah,
worried.
exactly, exactly. I think the parents are more worried. Like, what do we make them study? Do we not make them study? Like they are in a limbo mode.
Yeah, yeah.
There is somebody, Jyoti Sikka has just joined in and asked, we all are going through the same situation and anxiety. So great to get advice from an expert. Thank you for sharing. That's
So sweet.
lovely. Uh,
So sweet.
Delphi is saying, Shenna's Kama would love to help. Please let me know if I can be of any use. Delphi Vadia, of course, thank you for joining in. First of all, I think it is already time to wrap up. Thank you, Binay, for. Would
For
you
sure.
like to just summarize the whole session if you want in like few words?
Do you want me to summarize or shall I take a quick question? I mean, because
We are done with the questions. I'm
we
looking
have
at
a
it.
question.
Yes, that's
Uh-huh.
why I was telling you to summarize.
Okay, so I think the one thing that has come out very clear is that all of us seem to be going through the same, because with the repetition and the commonality in the questions, the anxiety is the same. So, what's going to happen to my job? What's going to happen to my admission? What's going to happen to my exams? How do I keep my kids gainfully occupied? And the good news is that's the bad news, but the good news is that we are all in it together. And
Absolutely.
the African tribes, okay, the Zulus have a word which is known as Ubuntu, okay, which means when they hunt for a particular animal, all of them come together and they share it, okay, and it's called. And if somebody is sick, also everybody helps out together. If somebody dies, everybody mourns together. So Ubuntu is something like our Zoroastrian Hamazor, which means I am because you are because I am, and we are all in this together. So I think the one message that I want you to go with is that you're not alone, and we are all in this together. And with the right positive thinking, we will not just survive this pandemic, but we will survive and thrive. So I'm very, very grateful to you. I know that this is a very precious time in the evening, and you could be doing more entertaining things in the evening, and yet you chose to be over here with Geoparcy. Thank you very much for supporting us. Thank you, Geoparcy, for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts. And I really, really wish that, like we say, Sakaste Shaitan, we keep our anxiety at bay, and we go with renewed hope, and we go with renewed courage and resilience. So stay happy, stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinay, for we will wrap up. Roshni Aunty's also joined us. Great job. Keep it up. I'm just going through. Thank you, ma'am, everything. And thank you to all our viewers who have joined us in the evening. Like Vinay first said, you all could have been doing anything else, but you've come and you've joined us in such a great viewership. We are extremely happy, and this will be an ongoing sessions with different speakers, and we definitely want to get Vinay for back also. So do write into us. Yes, and we would want your feedback, and we would want to even know what kind of sessions you would want in the future. We are trying to get a session every Friday for you all from different speakers also. Even if you all want us to do a series on with Binayfer Sahukar, please do write in with us. Thank you, Binayfer. Thank you, Geoparcy. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening, and please stay safe and stay healthy.
Bye. Bye. See you. Thank you.
Bye.